Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first beta reveal of the JBean Prediction Game Show. I'm Deborah Caswell, and I'm joined tonight by the one, the only Doug Kyle, the I can't remember what year, the
The
wizard
wizard.
himself, sorry, the wizard himself, who is a master trader, created Insights and Digibot, and now he is the JBean Prediction Game Experience. He created that as well. We're so glad to have you with us tonight. Whether you hit the mark or you missed the move this week, you know you're part of something brand new, a game that blends strategy, sentiment, and a bit of luck, just like the crypto market itself. So over the past 5 days, each of you has submitted your price predictions for Bitcoin, one daily candle at a time. And tonight, we're about to see how your forecast stacked up against the real market. We'll be revealing results, highlighting some standout predictors, and even taking a peek into how JBean will evolve from here. After we bring a few of you up, Doug will walk through a quick strategy session looking at what happened this week and why. Doug, why? We want to know all the answers. And then we'll reveal the top predictors of week one. We're here to celebrate progress, not perfection. So whether you nailed it or missed it by a mile, this is how you sharpen your edge. Doug, how are
Wow.
you?
I am doing great.
Excellent.
Bit Kaz, I appreciate it so much. And what an exciting first week for us. I mean, when we get everybody on and we actually begin to talk about this week, I think the thing that for me that was so amazing is from day to day how the leaderboard changed. And even into the final, we'll talk to a couple of you because there was even people doubting their own predictions going into the final that
Absolutely.
really ended up turning out different than what they anticipated. So, I think this is a lot like trading where there's, the market starts to move, you start to doubt, but in the end, it's where the market ends up. And were you right or wrong, or and I don't know if right or wrong is the right answers, but were you in tune with what the market was doing? So yeah, Deb, I'm super excited. So let's bring our contestants up and let's kind of get a little background from each one of them, and then let's begin to talk about the week and what they went through and what they experienced, because that's what it's
Absolutely.
all about.
Absolutely. And it definitely was an exciting week, even though we channeled all week. It still was so exciting.
Well, but that's just part of the market,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So you're going to do a couple of things. You're either going to go up, you're going to go down, or you're going to channel.
Yeah.
But knowing that is what this is all about. That's why we are perfecting what is called wisdom of crowds, which
Yes.
our contestants are really a key part of that wisdom of crowds, where we can use the collective knowledge of people to actually give us an edge in the market. So, well, let's hear from our contestants. Deb, let's bring them up and see what they have to say.
All right. First up, we have Bitcoin Boss. Now, Bitcoin Boss, I remember in one of our we've been getting together and talking about our predictions all week, right? And I remember on day one hearing from Bitcoin Boss and hearing some of his strategy around predicting the market. Bitcoin, how are you? And don't forget to unmute. All right, and Bitcoin Boss is in his car, so might be having a little bit of trouble here. So yeah, he can't talk right now. That's all right. So scratch that. All
Yeah,
right.
and that's fine too, guys. If we bring you up and you're not in a place to talk, that's okay. Those that can will share. And again, it's about getting the knowledge from the people that are doing this, so that those that are watching can, get a feel and learn from what we did. So, who's next, Deb?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's bring up Bitcoin Magnet. Bitcoin Magnet. How are you tonight?
I am fine, thank you. Uh,
Excellent. Excellent. Great to hear your voice. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited, Doug, to look to see how Bitcoin Magnet did this week. It's going to be an exciting, exciting time. So let's go ahead. Oh, tell us a little bit about yourself, Bitcoin Magnet.
well, I guess I've been in since 2017, and but doing the predictions, I've really changed. Before I was always going thinking today is the day Bitcoin's going to jump, and I'm always overly optimistic. And well, Doug was saying, well, do you want to get it right every 20 times and do that? You want to get it right 19 out of 20 times, stay sort of in the channel a bit. So
Aha.
that's what I did. I used uh, AI using the Lunar Crush thing only, and showed them that and said, give me prediction for tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And it gave me that, and I put in like two lines, one color for the high where it might be, and then the low. And well, then I just looked at it and tried to be a bit conservative. And
Ah. So you actually took what AI was giving you from the lessons that we did, and then you were looking at that and you were adjusting and being more conservative in some cases?
yeah, well, then the last hour I'm watching it going, and especially if it's moving up, and I don't think it's going to do another wave all back down again before the 24 hours is up, then I think, hey, here's my low right here. Whatever it
Yeah.
is right now at 8 o'clock, that's my low.
That's what you got. Well, so that people that are watching this understand what we're actually doing, the predictors are predicting from the market movements during the week and today, whatever that day is, by the UTC close of the candle, usually on TradingView's chart, they are working at predicting tomorrow's high, low, and close. So what Bitcoin Magnet is actually saying is towards the end of the UTC time for today, he's using the market movement to refine his prediction for tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, great strategy. Great strategy. All right, Deb, who do we have next?
All right, next up we have Icy is coming up, allowing him to talk. How are you,
Oh,
Icy?
Doing great. Thank you, guys. Um,
Excellent.
I could say I got into this all because of the master at Cooler Party. So he introduced me to Bitcoin, and I've been following him ever since. So it's been quite a few years, and I can't thank him enough, and thank his staff as well, including you. So thank you, guys.
Excellent. Thank you. It's nice to
awesome.
have you here.
Love your avatar.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Lovejoy. Hey, Lovejoy.
Hey guys.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I heard about all this crypto stuff back when my teenage son was doing all this stuff in his bedroom, oh, many, many years ago, and actually got involved. And I kind of poo-pooed it and said it's a scam and all that kind of stuff. Tucked it away, didn't really think about it. Then about 10 years ago, I heard all about crypto again, and I was like, I thought about trying to get involved. And it wasn't until about 2021, you wait for the right time. And I was introduced to you all through Nexus, Digibot, Insights, and now JBeans. And the rest is history. So I am still a newbie learning how to predict and how to follow the charts, but with the excellent guidance of Doug and the team, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I'm holding my own. We'll see
Hmm.
where it goes.
Well,
I
how
love
do
it.
you think you did this week?
This past week,
Hmm.
at the beginning of the week, to be honest, I think that first call we had, but I think I even mentioned to you, Doug, about how I'm a perfectionist. And so I'm not used to failing. I'm used to things coming easy for me. And I struggled at the beginning of the week. And because I just, it's that perfectionism in me that wants to get it right every time. And
Mm.
that's not the strategy we have here, of course. And so as the week progressed, I think I had a shift in my mindset and realized that just to kind of take a deep breath and just do the best I can and see where I kind of play out. And then as the week progressed towards the end, and I was seeing in my JBean the accuracy of some of the, especially some of the close predictions and things, I was getting kind of excited and think, I need to trust myself a little bit more. And I think that towards the end of the week, I think I did much better.
That's really exciting to hear, Lovejoy, because I think, I've been trading for over 20 years, and I taught thousands of people to trade Forex, and now hundreds and hundreds of people in crypto, and now in predicting. And I think one of the biggest faults or biggest problems that all traders have is doubting themselves. And I constantly would hear things like, and I know people that are listening to this are going to relate to it. Well, I got out of the trade, but I knew it was going to go up, or I knew it was going to go down, but I got out. But if I had stayed in, I would have done this. I think what we're doing here in you learning how to predict is going to give you and other traders, and you don't have to be a trader to actually do this game. You can be somebody that's just into mathematics or statistics or whatever, and just have fun. But a lot of people that are into trading are going to find huge benefit in the learning how to predict and actually taking advantage of our wisdom of crowds. So I'm super glad that you had kind of a week of evolving your own mindset. Now that could change next week. Just be prepared.
I'm ready for the roller coaster. I love them.
There you
Ooh, that's
go.
exactly what we got going on, a roller coaster. I love it. Love it. All right, let's bring up Digital Druid OG. See what he's got going on. Whew. How are you, Digital? DDOG. I'm just going to call you DDOG, and don't forget to unmute yourself.
No, I'm not. I was unmuted, but then it muted me back.
Well, how are you? Tell us a little bit
I'm
about your crypto background. What you got going on?
I'm one of those that kicks himself in the, you know what, for not getting into crypto when it was $10. But that's a whole nother story. I got back involved with it when I was in another group and I was looking at Digibot, and I talked to a couple of people and then got into Digibot. Looked at Digibot a little bit closer and found out that's exactly what I wanted to do, and so I'm still here.
Excellent.
Well,
Excellent.
I don't want you to kick yourself too hard, Digital Druid. I had a buddy who tried to get me into Bitcoin when it was under $1.
Mm.
No.
And I told him he was absolutely insane. I was into Forex, right? I was a, fiat currency trader, right? And there's no way in the world that this Bitcoin thing made any sense to me back when it was below $1. So yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
It is
Next
what
up.
it is, no matter what.
That's
We're here
right.
today.
That's right. You know, you have a story to tell, right? Who gets to tell that kind of story and not cry after?
That's true.
All right. Next up, we have Beanie of Truth. Beanie of Truth, how did you
Oh.
do this week with your trading?
Oh, I'm not so sure. Putting all my all my faith in my magic hat.
I love it.
That is an awesome avatar. Yeah.
That
Thank you.
is.
Well, I think no matter how anybody does, right, this week or next week, it's really going to be an evolution of learning. And just as long as you're showing up, as long as you're in, we've been doing classes every morning, talks and things. And as long as you're asking the questions and showing up, everybody is going to have fun and they're going to improve. So thanks for just showing up, Beanie of Truth.
I'm just so happy to be here and ready to learn.
Awesome. All right, next up we have Luminostra. Luminostra coming up to the panel. How are you, Luminostra?
Hey, I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm great. Tell us a little bit about what your crypto experience.
Oh God, I had none until I ran into Doug. I met Doug about 8 or 9 years ago. And that was before before COVID, and we morphed into a cryptocurrency business. I didn't know anything about cryptocurrency, much less Bitcoin. And one of our previous little conversations, Doug reminded me that I went to a convention where he did a class, and I asked him what a candle was.
Yeah, she was in the front row, and if everybody knows what a deer in headlights look like, that was Luminostra.
That was it.
But you know, we're going to have some conversations when we get into looking at how everybody did, because she was one of them that was kind of doubting herself, but she really had some stellar days
Yeah.
and stellar predictions. So very, very impressive. And she has her own unique way of predicting the market, which I found very interesting.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Doug.
let's bring up Packer Backer and see what Packer Backer has going on. Hey, Packer Backer.
Hello there.
That's just fun to say. Tell us a little bit about your crypto. I'll tell you a little bit about your crypto experience. You're the
Okay.
one that gave me my wings in crypto.
Yay.
I did not
I've,
know that.
I'm
Oh,
glad.
for real, yes. She did. She was the one that gave me the courage to, once I started in Digibot, she gave me the courage to be able to understand, just simple things, helping put together the instruction manual and all that. She was very, very helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your week, Packer Backer.
Well, I'm not
You're
sure.
not in Green Bay, are you?
No, but I'm from Wisconsin, so
There you go.
once a Packerbacker, always a Packerbacker.
As you know, my wife is from there also.
Yes. So I started in crypto in 2017, slowly. I did some stocks before then. And the more I know and the more I learn from the master, the more excited I get. So I'm not sure how I did this week. I've been quite busy, but I'm looking forward to the future.
So you had a background in stocks before?
Well, I dabbled in it. I didn't
Uh-huh.
really, I wasn't like, a Forex trader or anything, but
Mhm.
just for retirement. So yeah,
But you had a feel for markets and those kind of things.
yes, for sure.
Yeah. So how did you find the trying to perfect the art of predicting, which is, some people think is not possible, but how did you find that this week? How did you find that experience?
Well, I find it in general, not necessarily this week, but in general, I find it amazing the amount of different ways that you can come up with an answer. There's the trending lines, and then there's the channel lines, and it's really amazing. I'm kind of open to learning new and different things, so it's quite exciting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Well, we'll dig in a little bit deeper in the show, because I think, you talked about trending line and channel lines. When we get into talking, bring that back up, because I think it's going to be interesting for us to have a little conversation around that.
Great.
All right, our next contestant is Par Excellence 0803. How was your experience this week, Par Excellence? Or better yet, tell us a little bit about when you got started with crypto.
Well, I came into crypto because I was a Cooler Brands member from the late summer of 2016,
Mhm.
and I've been in and out of crypto probably. I started Digibot maybe 2018, somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
My problem is I have so many gaps of knowledge. I keep missing, bits and pieces of recordings and things like that I've been using pretty much coin market cap to do my predictions, looking at the charts, looking at their highs and lows that they have posted, and that's what I've been using.
Have you been
Nice.
modifying that at all? Or are you just going, is that your primary source at this point?
Primary at this time, but I want to expand that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's probably a lot of people's primary. A lot of people will use CoinMarketCap or they'll look up, you know, sites that do predictions. You know, most of those are doing long range predictions, but you know, they're counting on third parties to do that. So I think what you're talking about is probably a pretty common experience that most people are going through. And I think a lot of people put a lot of hope in those predictions so that, you know, they can hopefully move with the market or have, you know, an advantage over the market. So I think you're right where a lot of people are.
Love that. So the seeker, I'm going to ask you to raise the hand on the device you would like me to allow to talk. You're on two different devices. So just raise your hand. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Trader Lady. Trader Lady, how did you come to get involved with crypto?
Can you hear me, Deb?
Yes.
Okay. I have been with Doug since Forex. We traded with him with Forex, and then we did Digibot and Insights and all that. I've traded futures. I basically love to trade. Sometimes that's a bad thing. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and I like to see where things are going. You know, I was looking at Bitcoin, and I was seeing a flag pattern, you know, but I was also seeing a lot of consolidation. So I used that, and I used just, you know, the average size of the candles, and hopefully I made some good predictions.
I'm sure you did. We shall see, Doug. We shall see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the next one, and that is wanna be a predictor. And I gotta say, we could tell from your predictions, wanna be a predictor. Why don't you let us know how you came to find crypto? And go ahead and unmute so we can hear you. I'll click the button, ask to unmute, and it could be they're not.
They may not be at a place that they can use their mic.
True. All right, get back to the participants. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring one up. I've got two to choose from here. We're going to go ahead and bring up the seeker. The seeker, you can now unmute and let us know how you came to be involved with crypto, or tell us a little something about yourself. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other one because I think this one could be that only one of the devices is talkable. So go ahead and unmute. I brought both of you up. The seeker.
He's got double chance of getting it right.
I know I'm going to have to say his name if
The seeker apparently is eating right now.
Oh, still eating. Okay. All righty. Well, Doug, I think we have everybody up on the panel. If you're not on the panel and you're supposed to be, please raise your hand so that I can get you to, I think I've got everybody. Alan is here. I know he wasn't part of the game, and Alan, if you want me to, I'm going to just press the button, and if Alan would like, if there's anything you'd like to say, Alan, we'd love to hear you. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and. All right, Doug, I think we're ready to go ahead and move on into this game and see what the heck has been happening all week.
Because you're going to say.
Sounds great. So guys, let's
just a
dive in here and let me share my screen. Yeah, share screen. And we're going to be excited to really, you know, allow all of us to have a dialogue here because, you know, there was a lot going on during this week. And so as we work our way through the week, you know, I think we've heard a number of times that, you know, this week was a channel, which that's exactly what we had. But I think there was a lot of back and forth in terms of, whether the market was going to continue with the channel. And I think Trader Lady, I think, just talked about the market tightening up. Man, can we see that or what, right? So, let's talk about, and I'm going to call on you guys, and I'm going to call on BitCaz and Lovejoy first, because you two on our final day, really, you picked a close on the market. You guys, I think, were picking slightly lower than everybody else. Do I remember correctly?
Yes.
Yes. And for a
And
while, Lovejoy, it looked like we were doing really, really well. And then all of a sudden, the market took a turn and it started to go up. And I don't know about you, Lovejoy, I got a little depressed thinking, wow, I missed the mark big time on this one.
Well, I honestly did not have a chance to look at the market until 8:03 afterwards, and then I went, hot dang.
well, in the morning when we were talking, though, and this is what I found so interesting about that day. In the morning when we were talking, I think BitCaz, I asked you about your prediction, and you almost made excuses
I
for it.
did. I had an excuse. I said the market fooled me again because it had done that the first day that I think the second day we predicted, I think it took a jump and it was out of nowhere. It was an anomaly. And then I felt like it did it again. Nothing said that the market was going to go up on that day. Nothing said that it was. And it was going up, and as we were on the meeting, we saw it just creep and crawl and creep, and it just kept going up.
Yeah.
And I thought there was no hope for Lovejoy and I.
I just remember distinctly that our wizard was giving all the reasons why it was not going to break to the down. It was going to go up. And I'm sitting there going, do I question the wizard?
Absolutely, always.
And it was one of those moments that morning, and I was like, well, I guess we're going to find out.
Mhm.
Well, and we talk about this is that you don't have to be right every day, right? The goal is, to try to stay with the trend, try to stay within the market and try to stay right. But what was really interesting, and that day was that on
I think it was Monday into Tuesday.
Monday into Tuesday. That's right. That was a
Yeah.
conversation that we had. And most of the predictions were for the close, were in that mid to upper 18,000 range. And I think both of you were down in the 17s.
Yeah, I hit the number exactly. I was dead on. I mean, I called it, Doug. 34 minutes after the market closed.
Oh, I love it. So was your number lower or higher than the close?
It was lower, just a little bit lower than
So
the.
because it continued down a little bit, you
Yeah,
eventually hit it.
yeah.
You know, I
34 minutes later, not eventually, it was 34 minutes.
could have been a lifetime, Deb.
Where
Or
were those
Big
sellers?
Kaz.
Where were those sellers when we needed them?
Isn't and that, but the key is you both believed and saw that the market was coming down, and we're still staying within that range. Uh, you know, to add on to your point, Bitcaz, uh, that same next day, I hit my number exactly too. So,
Yep.
so we were all correct. But
At some point, we all, likely hit our number,
the
it's
question
just
is, can we
how
get it on time?
exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
right. So Lovejoy, you thought the market was going down. BitCast thought the market was going down. Why did you guys think the market was going down? What was was it just a feel, or
Well,
did
I
you?
also was looking at some of the social sentiment stuff because I knew that there was, the Fed was going to be meeting, and I knew there was a big deal about, the interest rates and all that kind of stuff. And it just seems like whenever there is uncertainty in other markets, uncertainty in the world, whatever, it always seems like there's a pause going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at what was happening the day before, and just I just didn't feel when in my gut, you talk about not doubting ourselves. In my gut,
Mm-hmm.
I just went with that and thought, I don't think we're going to do a breakout just yet.
Right.
Yeah, we were stuck in the 117 to 119.5 channel right about during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of resistance going on. There were multiple failed candles trying to close above 119.5 that just couldn't get there. This analysis that I'm talking about is from the day before, right? Because we predict 24 hours over 24 hours in advance. So this is what I was seeing then.
Yeah, you were seeing this blue up candle, or
Mhm.
the up candle here, and you guys decided to ignore this and say that it was going down, and that
Well,
is that's phenomenal. And I think
the
Lovejoy
volume was really weak that day though.
volume was very weak,
Mhm.
and we did have a fundamental coming out, and that fundamental was important to pay attention to, that uncertainty in the market.
Yeah.
So I think that was a very, very good call. Now I want to talk a little bit to uh, now she's changed to Luma Strata, so she was something different before. But Luma Strata, you had a rough start on Monday and or on the 22nd, 23rd, but on the 24th, you had one of the best days of everybody on the 24th. In fact, uh, overall points on the 24th, you did have the best day. So why do you think that was? What allowed that to happen?
On the 24th?
Yeah, your best day was our third day of predicting. You received the most points of anybody on that day. So that would have been on this day here,
Yeah, okay.
which is now you talked a little bit to me about a pattern that you use.
Yeah, there's a,
Tell me about that again.
okay, I look at the candles and the different colors, and I count the candles between the am I saying? It's like there's two green and a red, two green and a red, three reds and two, no, you're ahead of me.
Yeah. So
Yeah, all right,
you go
start
two
there.
greens and three reds, and you saw
Two
that two
greens and
greens and three reds
three
here.
reds. Yeah, and that's a part of the like you were talking about, it was part of the flag pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And and I don't I've added a little bit of tweaking to my reading the candles things. I also look at the different times of day,
Mm.
and in the last half hour, and then the last minute, and that kind of thing, and I get an idea about how it's going to go, and I just guess.
Well, you had a
and the thing,
but it's an educated guess though, right?
yes,
You're using some knowledge. It's not just and that's the thing that we talk about in wisdom of crowds is that it's not just luck.
no,
Uh, and for wisdom of crowds to really work, you have an educated group of people that are have some knowledge about a specific thing, and it's their predictions, and it's the combination of all of their predictions that creates this wisdom of crowds that gives usually a better accuracy, more consistent accuracy than what any individual can do on their own over time. So, so your style is different than Bitcaz's and Lovejoy's, but yet on that day, your style was the best, which was
Yeah,
really
the
interesting.
candles, if you read the candles correctly, like I have a shape that reminds me of what they are, and the different wicks and what they mean, and how many is in between each color,
Mm-hmm.
the up ones, and I'm getting on to looking at the last half hour before the candle is before before the change for the day's over, and I get a chance to see the pattern and see where the heaviness is, where the wick is coming in, and where and how long it is, and I'm able to get a general idea of what's going to happen, and that seems to be working so far.
Yeah, I think it is working pretty well for you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
thank you for your instruction on how candles work, Doug.
You're welcome. All right. Well, is Ice available? Let's talk to Ice for a second.
I see.
I see. That's it. I see. Not I see, but I see. I love it. Now you're doing something different than all three of those. Talk to me a little bit about what you're doing.
So over the years, you've given us cheat sheets that describe different things, just like what the last person was talking about, how she could read the candles now. So I took your cheat sheets and I put them into Chat GPT. And the first thing it said is, wow, you really put a lot of thought into this. This is really cool. I was like,
Good
oh, thank
job.
you. So it came up. I asked it to do a script on it for me, an indicator. And then over the time, I would go back in and tweak the indicator. Like the first time I did it, the spread was almost 10,000 between the high and the low. I'm like, no, that's way too high. So I'd go back in and I'd give it different other indicators saying, this indicator seems to be doing better with the predictions here. Can you do something with it? And I just kept on tweaking it. And so far, I think it's working pretty good.
Absolutely. So you're taking indicators and lessons and you've fed it into AI and basically built your own almost AI agent in some ways where you can feed it that data on a daily basis and it helps you with the predictions.
Correct.
And are you when you get those predictions, are you looking at them and confirming that you agree with what they're saying, or are you just taking it at face value?
Honestly, for the last 2 weeks, I've just been taking them at face value. I want to see what it does. So I wanted to,
Perfect.
just use it and work that way.
Yeah. And do you find yourself tweaking it yet, or you just have you felt like you've kind of landed on something that's pretty solid?
I think it's pretty solid, but there's always tweaking involved. I mean, there's always going to be adjusting the market, just like anything has variables. So I have to um, do more tweaking with the news, like the other person on here spoke about. She knew the Feds were meeting, so that's something I have to do more research into.
I think that was a pretty powerful little input, right?
Yes.
And I didn't even pay attention to that day, which I think, is something that we need to constantly be looking for. But in some ways, I think, are you using Lunar Crush also?
I've been on Lunar Crush and I have not submitted it because when I submit a picture, it really reduces my free chat PPT sessions.
Ah, yes,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. So some of the times, we're using social to kind of pick up on the fundamentals, because social will kind of, if we're getting the right indicators, from Lunar Crush or Glassnode or, wherever we're getting them from. Lots of times those things will be in that. So, but they'll also be in your indicators too. So I think what you're doing is super exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing how your system evolves over time.
Thank you.
Okay. Coin Sensei, talk to me. Are we on?
Can you
I
hear
don't-
me?
There you are.
Hi there.
Hi
Yeah,
there.
just a little bit under the weather tonight, but been involved with the whole crypto thing since I guess about 2020, 19. I can't even remember when I started, but I've learned so much through the whole Digibot and just trading in general from you guys, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I may not be doing as well as I would like to, but I haven't really got into the AI. It's most of what I've been doing is kind of like some of the others have said. I've just been trying to grasp some of the sentiment of what's going on in the economy globally, and basically taking that information. And I do watch the last hour because that's usually when I can get on and really start looking at things. And yeah, it's been interesting. I have no idea where I'm at right now, but I'm going to get there.
So
And
how do you?
I appreciate all the knowledge that you guys
Well,
have given us.
how do you feel like you did during the week?
Well, I thought I did okay at times, and then at times I was thinking, oh, I think it's going to go up, and it went down, and I don't know. I think sometimes I'm letting my emotions get in there
Yeah.
because I kind of want it to go up in some ways, and in other ways, if it could go down to 30, 40, 50,000, I could really buy some Bitcoin right now. So
you're right there with BitCaz. Yeah, she's
but I
waiting
do
for it
thank
to
you
go.
guys for everything.
Yeah, she's waiting for it to go back down to 6,000. She's
Yes,
all in.
someday, just for one day, just drop so I can just purchase one Bitcoin and then boom, you can take off again.
I'm right there with you.
All right.
Right?
Well, I think what I saw in your trade, in your predicting that you were pretty consistent all week. You had a pretty good update on the 23rd, but your final was really different. So, I don't know what you did on your final. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more, but your final was very different. So, we'll see on that. Okay, I think I need to, there's a number of you that I could hear from. But I gotta talk to wannabe predictor if wannabe predictor is available.
Wannabe predictor, can you, oh, there they are.
Hello.
Hey, hey.
For nothing else, I gotta talk to you because of your name.
Okay.
Wannabe
Something different, I
predictor.
guess.
Wannabe predictor. So tell me, what are you doing in your predicting? How are you going about your predicting?
Well, I guess I'm just using TradingView and I think 4 or 5 different charts that I came across, and then chat gives me a range for tomorrow, and then it's like I can't remember. I think it was that one day they thought it was going to go way up. My gut feeling wasn't feeling that, and I went a little bit higher, but then it dropped pretty hard. But I just pretty much used my gut feeling when they give me the tomorrow predictions and what I'm thinking, I guess.
So when you're using your gut feeling, are you looking at the charts? Is it, what's bringing on that gut feeling?
Oh, when chat GPT would give me the information what it read from the charts, and then I just read through it, I guess, and then it gives me a little bit on the different charts where it thinks it's going and that. And then it gives me a total figure at the end of the conversation.
This is really interesting because wisdom of crowds came from Sir Francis Galton. I believe he was one that kind of really started it back in the early 1900s, where uh, he was at the state fair and he had people guessing the weight of an ox. But the thing that made this different that most people miss, and most things I've ever read on Wisdom of Crowds, is that the people that were guessing, it was the early 1900s. Most people grew up on farms. Most people grew up raising or around cattle, and they had a sense or a feeling or a knowledge, maybe even a knowledge they didn't know they had, about when they looked at an animal, they could say, oh, that weighs about 1,200 pounds, or that weighs 1,300 pounds, or whatever that weight is. And with what you said, I believe is part of what we're doing here. That gut feeling is more than a gut feeling. I think it comes down to a knowledge in the market that you may not even be fully aware that you have. You may be, but in some cases, I think it's our what we call our intuitive nature, or our subconscious mind, or whatever it is. But really, I think it's more of a trained mind that's been around trading or been around the charts, and you have that ability to go, that just doesn't quite feel right. Would that be a good assessment of maybe of what you're feeling?
Yes, pretty darn close to it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I think more people are that way than they know, right? And again, that's what I think makes Wisdom of Crowds so exciting. So, well, thank you for sharing. Is there anybody that I didn't call on? I don't think I talked to Par Excellence. Is there anybody that wants to share something from their week that they really got knowledge from, that before we go into our reveal? All right. Going once, going twice. Reveal.
Reveal,
Okay.
reveal, reveal, reveal.
Reveal. Okay. All
Okay,
right. Now
I have
let me
something.
get this up so that we can
Well, I think Bitcoin Magnet has a question.
okay, go ahead.
Well, one thing that I do is for indicators. I'll use the MACD one. Then I get rid of the Mac and the D part of it, and so I just have the candles go higher or lower. And well, once it turns from dark green to light green, that'd be a good time to sell. And when it goes to the bottom, it turns from pink to light pink. That's the time to buy.
And that's your MACD indicator line changing.
Yeah, I put in MACD,
Uh-huh.
and then I go in, and under style, I get rid of the MACD and the signal, and that brings the green and the pink bars higher, so they're better to see. And once it changes from dark green to light green, that's the time to sell. And when it changes from dark pink to light pink, that's the time to buy. And
Wow.
usually, but the 1 hour magnet, 1 hour candles looking at.
Uh-huh. Not the daily.
No, not daily.
Yeah. I'd love to, on one of our morning calls, I'd love you to show me what you're doing. I'd love to see that in a visual. That would be very cool.
Okay.
MACDs are very important, especially things like MACD divergence and stuff. A lot of people use, and because so many people use it, it makes it, an important indicator, especially even socially. So, like I've told you guys in the past, I think the markets are predictive because of human nature, right? People are watching the same things, doing the same things, and human nature responds the same way. So your MACD that you're using, I would love to see how you're doing that, because I think that would show, I'd love to see how you're seeing that in terms of, predicting what people are seeing, and there's definitely something there. So phenomenal. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else before we go into this?
Doug,
Yes.
this is par excellence.
Hey, buddy.
Your success, most of your success comes from just showing up. And if I would have showed up last week on Monday and Tuesday, I would have had a lot more predictions for last week's game.
You would have had a better week, and what par excellence is saying is that he's got two what do you want to call it, eggs or something? I don't 2 days that had nothing, right? Because
Right.
you have to show up to play. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good self-awareness par excellence. I love it.
Working on it.
And you're getting there. I can tell already. You are definitely getting there. All right, I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to get this down out of the way. And screen 2. There we go. Okay, everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right. What we're going to do is we're going to go through our leaderboard and see where everybody finished for the week. I want to congratulate everybody before we do this, whether you're bottom or top. The week had lots of swings in it, lots of roller coasters. There were people on top that ended up more in the middle, people that were on bottom ended up more on top, and that's really the way that trading goes, and that this is really kind of designed. But what I think we'll see over time is your personal skills will hone and become better and better. And the challenges will get harder and harder as we bring more people in, right? But for now, your guys' skills, I believe, are far above a majority of the people that are in any trading market in really being able to predict the market because of your knowledge now, your skill sets are being developed, and you're in a game that helps sharpen and refine those edges, which I think is really what this is all about. So, all right, let's dive in here, and we're going to go to our slide number 1 here. Let's see here. Okay, finishing 11th, 12th, and 13th are well, we've changed our name to what was the name of that we changed to? Not
Luminostra.
Luminostra, now in 11th.
Digital Druid OG.
Druid OG. And I always want to say Druid Dog, and I know that's wrong. It's Druid OG. So, and beta tester. Now, the interesting thing here is that, when we get to Luminostra, we had that one really strong day. And that shows me that there's something there that with refining can continue to grow. But and DigiDruid OG had a really strong day here, and fairly consistent. Okay. And then beta tester had a slow start, but then stayed fairly consistent. So really, good predictions, really good, well done. So okay, so that's 11th, 12th, and 13th. 8th, 9th, and 10th. Packer backer pulling up to 8th par excellence. Like you said, you had 3 missing days here. Okay, might have ended up a little better, right? Those are those goose eggs we talked about. Um, and then Bitcoin Magnet, nice, strong, really strong day on the 25th. So you really dialed in something on the 25th and got a strong, good finish there. So really interesting. Okay. All right. Now we go to 5, 6, and 7. Benny of Truth, Wannabe Predictor, and Icy. Okay. Um, and again, really finishing strong. What I like is that I see consistent growth in Icy. I see that also in Wannabe Predictor here, and fairly consistent across the board for Benny of Truth. So probably, and let's talk, Benny of Truth, we were talking earlier. Are you surprised to see where you are?
I am very surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, and you had a super strong final day. You were in that position where some of us were predicting it was going to go up a little bit more. So we actually, some people that were up higher slipped down. You were in that range where you predicted some pretty good numbers for that final day. And the final day for everybody that's watching this in this round had double points, or it had actually more than double points. It probably won't be that way in the future. It'll probably be like 1.5 times the points. But in this game, it had double points. And so with a strong finish on the final day, it really positioned you well. And you did extremely good. Same with Wannabe Protector and Icy, all finishing right in the middle, very strong finishes and very well done. Okay, here we go. Who's number 4? Any guesses on who's number 4? Anybody want to guess? Who's not being seen yet? So there you go. Let's see who
Deb?
number 4 is. Is it Deb? Is it it's Bitcoin Boss. So nice strong finish here. Solid numbers across the entire week. One little dip day compared to the other days, but strong finish, strong solid numbers. All right, number 3. Here we go for number 3. Coin Sensei. Well done. Okay. Nice strong finish. You had a good day on the 23rd. Little slow on the start, little in the middle here, but had a strong finish on the finals. Okay. And good numbers. So who does that leave, guys?
Lovejoy.
BitCaz.
And BitCaz and
And
Lovejoy.
Lovejoy.
And who were the two that we were harassing about their low predictions on the final day? All right. Anybody want to guess? Okay, we got it between two people.
It has to be Lovejoy.
I think
Lovejoy, is it you?
I think it's Bitcaz.
It's Lovejoy.
Oh, isn't this so sweet?
No, I do. I think it is because I think I was off on some highs and lows.
So let me get this. Bitcaz is saying, "Oh, it's Lovejoy," and Lovejoy's going, "Oh no, it's you, Bitcaz." Oh, come on. I love it. So Lovejoy, you really think it's Bitcaz, and Bitcaz thinks it's Lovejoy.
Yeah.
All right, who is number 1? It is Bitcaz.
What?
And Lovejoy
Oh
is
my
number
gosh.
2. Fairly tight finish.
Wow.
And I want you guys to see that, Bitcaz was kind of not in the top all during the week, but you nailed it on the final day. Both of you did. Both of you saw the market going down. Both of you read that a little bit better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And you pulled that out in the final.
Wow.
And that really well done by both of you. Really well done by everybody. Everybody give yourself a pat on the back because for the first week of us doing predictions, that was phenomenal. So let's see what our rewards are. And again, this is our first week, guys. Our goal is to grow these awards to be thousands and thousands of dollars, and eventually have 5 and 10,000 people participating in a game, and we will get there. But first week doing our test show and our test uh, predicting. Here's what our numbers are. Okay, for BitCaz, that's a $200 reward. For BitCaz, Lovejoy, 150, CoinSensei, 100, Bitcoin Boss, 100, Benny of True, 75, Wannabe Predictor, 75, IC, 50, Packer Backer, 50, Par Excellence, 40, Bitcoin Magna, 40, Illuma Strada, 40, and DigiDruid OG 40, and Beta Tester 40. So that is not a bad week of
Wow.
predicting. I'm very proud of all of you. Extremely well done. Any last comments by any of our predictors before we call this a wrap?
I want to say something really quickly. First of all, super, super grateful. But Doug, as the co-host of this show, when we get into reality, when we're really doing this, guys, I'm not going to get to participate. So I am so grateful that I that I got to participate, and I got to I got to actually, wow. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to make sure people were clear that I won't be able to play when we start going live.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
shocked. I'm just
Well, and it really came down to that one, the prize pool on the final day was double, or a little over double. And you guys really predicted those lower numbers. Now, the other winners of the week, the top predictors of the 4 days, I think in our next show, I think we also should look at that. The people that were the top for the 4 days, then the top in the final and the overall top would be a good thing to do, because some of you guys just had stellar weeks, and you can be really proud of your 4 days of predicting. So I hope everybody is as excited as I am with the finish. And again, any last questions, any last comments?
Can you
Where's
post
your
that up in
totals?
Discord? Sorry.
Okay.
one more time.
I was
Say
saying, sorry, I didn't interrupt the other person. I apologize. I was hoping you could post those results in Discord.
Sure. Yep,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yep. Icy,
What about your totals? Can we see your totals?
I didn't do the last day like I told you guys. I wasn't going to compete against you guys, so I didn't do that prediction. I did some testing on the last day that I told you about. Um, but my points were double of all of you guys going into the final day. So
He's
don't-
taking it.
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. I really wanted this to be about you guys, not about me.
Thank you, Doug and
But-
Deb. Game on.
Game
Yeah.
on. But you know what we might do someday, Icy, is have like a 2 day, 3 day, all shootout challenge where, Deb and I and we'll do it for just bragging rights, so that we can participate with you guys. But maybe we'll do some days like that where we just get on and just see who's got what it takes.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel Icy wants to lay down the gauntlet here.
Well, all right, predictors, that wraps up our very first JBean prediction show. Huge thanks to each of you for showing up, submitting those forecasts, and being part of something brand new. Whether you finished at the top of the leaderboard or just learned a few hard lessons along the way, You're already ahead of most traders out there. Why? Because you're practicing predicting. You're training your instincts and you're doing it with data, community, and strategy. Special thanks to the wizard for the training breakdown tonight. And if you weren't taking notes, trust me, your competition probably was. We'll be dropping the leaderboard into Discord after the call, and a new candle means a new chance to call the move. So keep it smart, keep it strategic, and we'll see you back on the leaderboard soon. Thanks again for being a part of the JBean beta. The future of crypto forecasting is here and you're helping to shape it. So good night, everyone. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Appreciate
Thank you.
everybody. See you in the morning.